I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Rushing like a bullet into the end zone. Defense, hold up, no scoring in the red zone. Throw it up, pick 6, I feel like I'm Josh Rowe. Throwing downs over the shoulder, think I'm Jack Winmo. I need me back to back, trying to be like Vulture. Cause a storm, cause I'm mighty, it's in the culture. Esports TV, YouTube, Twitch, SFL live tuning, you don't wanna miss. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Next level like my entertainment. NXT on the stream, 8 p.m. on the beat. Catch me on the cam like I'm SFL commence. Yeah, you only got one chance, you can never miss. For the glory, revolution, feel my fury. Cause I'm a legend out in Canton, and I'm playing with dragons. I'm the king of this legion. SFL action, tuning this season.
Kickoff! Are you kidding me?
All they're gonna need is
Big pop, it's up in the air! And
Oh,
one,
yeah!
there it goes! That's how Kickoff City's gonna win!
He's gonna go! Jason Power! Touchdown!
I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them.
The weekend's almost done, but the SFL is just revving up here tonight. Welcome to the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports, presented by APM Music, along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, and tonight we have a showdown in the South. The fight for first place in the South Division, Mike. This is, we hope, it's going to be a classic because it has all the makings of one.
Definitely has the makings of a classic, Cam, and it would be a great way to cap off a very intriguing weekend of action. To me, this weekend's probably been the most intriguing week of the SFL season thus far.
We've seen some odd scores. We've seen some nail-biters, some thrillers. Had a pretty good game yesterday on Next Level between Queen City and Los Angeles. And tonight, Fort Worth, winners of 4 in a row, taking on the Mexico City Aztecs, who surprisingly fell to the Atlanta Swarm big last week, but still control their own destiny here in this crowded South Division.
Yeah, Mexico City, they came into that game last week against Atlanta riding high, had won 5 games in a row before losing that game to the Swarm, and they were doing it in prestigious fashion, scoring 40, 50 points a game. Letting up very few points, and then ran across Atlanta last weekend. A desperate Atlanta team that really needed a win, and they came out on top. But then let's flip that to Fort Worth. They struggled coming out of the gate, and they have been since their bye week in week 5, I think it was. These guys, they've been on fire just like the Mexico City Aztecs have, and they've won 4 in a row, and they've looked fantastic doing it.
Yeah, Marcus Dunhill. The resurgence of this Hall of Famer has been impressive. Fort Worth's offense really struggled early on in the season, getting him going. Very mundane. You're talking about 16, 20 points, right? Kind of all in there, playing defensive slugfest. They've really found their rhythm. On the Mexico City side, all season it's been about Matt Wilson. He crossed the 50,000-yard mark. But Ray Bentley and Phoenix Jones drive the bus for this offense. So it's going to be really interesting to see, how these two teams handle themselves. It's the first time since opening week of last season that the two teams have met. And for Fort Worth, kind of a weird stat, Mike. This is their first trip to Mexico City ever, yet they've been in the same division. They just so happen to have never played twice, and the way that they finish in the standings has Fort Worth hosting the Aztecs. So really interesting stat there for Fort Worth, and they until you cross the lines of Estadio Matt Wilson, Mike, you ain't seen nothing. It's a tough place to play.
Yeah, it's a different animal down there in Mexico City. And you mentioned Marcus Dunhill and the change of fortune for the Fort Worth Toros. It's been like night and day for them. As I mentioned before their off week a couple of weeks ago, only 3 touchdowns going into that game, and that was in 4 games. And then since then, in the 4 games that they have won since then, 9 touchdowns and over 300 yards in each of those games.
It should be awesome, and it should be an awesome race for the end of this division, Mike. It's been really insane. Look at the standings here in the South. Mexico City wins tonight. They go to 7-2, and they separate themselves a little bit. If they lose, Fort Worth goes to 7-3 and in first place temporarily. They have a bye next week. Houston will try to get a win next week, and if they do so, they own the tiebreaker over Fort Worth, at least for now. They play in Week 14, as does Lone Star and Mexico City. The Glory are not far behind either, 5-4 right now. All 4 teams are in the top 10, would make the playoffs in the SFL, but no division games after this one in terms of the next couple of weeks. Until Week 14, you see it on the top of your screen there. Houston will go to Fort Worth, and then Lone Star will go to Mexico City. But it doesn't seem like anything is slowing down any of these 4 teams, Mike St. Green, as we head into the last few weeks of the season.
Yeah, clearly one of the better divisions in the SFL, the South Division down there. They affectionately call the Tex-Mex. Mexico City with a win, as you say, they could solidify themselves temporarily in first place, or with a loss with the tiebreaker situation, they would fall to third place. So very competitive. These games in the South usually go down to the wire. Very competitive ball games typically in this division. I expect nothing different tonight.
This game, you could argue, Mike, is more important for Fort Worth. They're 0-2 in the division. They need to get a division win under their belt. They've got to finish strong because once you get into division tiebreakers, those division standings mean a lot. Of course, if they get 7 or 8 wins, they're probably safe and will make the playoffs anyway. But it's always good. I mean, the winner of the South could get that last first-round bye, right? And that could be big. So that's interesting to look at there as well. Coming up in our live look-in coverage tonight is Florida and Arizona, the leaders of the East and the West, respectively. It's Max Paul, it's Eddie Gage, and their crews meeting for the first time since the Season 17 semifinals, where Florida beat Arizona 24-17. What do you expect out of this one tonight, Mike?
Well, Arizona and Florida, 2 teams that's kind of going in opposite directions. Florida have lost 2 of their last 3. They're, hanging on to a very, very narrow lead over there in the East Division that no one seems to want to win at this point. But Arizona, they've been, fantastic. Are we talking about that all-important bye week where you don't have to play that wild card round in the playoffs? Arizona 6-2 right now. A win would really put them in good shape as far as getting that bye. I think they're one of the better teams in this league. They're definitely deserving of being in the top 5 for sure, but they want that bye week, and it all comes down to, with them this season, Ashley Jackson. She's been excellent. 3rd in the league in touchdown passes and 2nd in quarterback rating. She's really, having a fantastic season, a career season from the standpoint of not turning it over. That's always been a criticism of AJ. Then, if she can control the turnovers, Arizona will be a great team. And then that she's done that this season, and it's reflected itself in the standings.
She is 6 touchdowns away from her career high and leads the league in completion percentage. And I think the craziest thing about these 2 teams this season, Mike, is that Ashley Jackson has been so good and Ron Cochran has not. Ron Cochran, historically one of the best quarterbacks in league history, he's really struggled. But when Florida has played well, Ron Cochran has played well, and that has led to at least getting them right now in the lead of a crowded East Division. These division races are crazy. Tulsa lost earlier today. That's now a 3-way tie in the Central. If Florida loses tonight, it'll be a 3-way tie for first in the East. So really wild stuff. And then, of course, if Fort Worth wins, we'll have 3 teams in the South with 3 losses. It's crazy right now, these divisional races in the SFL, but we would love nothing else as the Fort Worth Toros and the Mexico City Aztecs are getting ready to kick off. Nate Hall and Brett Solberg on the call. When we come back, this has been Sim Football Pregame. Mike and I will see you back here at the half.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
Week 11 action continues this evening from Mexico City as we bring you live coverage and live shots from Mexico City, Mexico for this awesome South Division matchup between the Fort Worth Toros and the Mexico City Aztecs in this South Division clash. We welcome you inside Estadio Matt Wilson. Alongside Brett Solberg, I'm Nate Hall, your play-by-play for this evening. And Brett, as I stated, an all-important South Division matchup this evening. This game is for the South Division lead in an all-important South Division matchup for a tightly contested, it always is, tightly contested South Division. What are your expectations for this evening?
There's going to be some fireworks flying tonight as we have 2 of probably the biggest, highest power offenses over the last couple weeks, especially on the side of Mexico City, averaging, get this, over 40 points a game. When's the last time we've seen that in an SFL game? However, they are coming off a surprising loss to Atlanta, whereas Fort Worth, winners of 4 in a row. This could potentially be a trap game for Mexico City if they perform the same way they did last week against Atlanta. So Mexico City has to turn things around and step things up if they want to right the ship and maintain control of the Tex-Mex division.
As we get you through the coin toss and prepare for the opening kickoff, one thing of note, Fort Worth has never played inside Estadio Matt Wilson here live or here in Mexico City. We'll have to see how that plays a factor in this ball game, if that plays any factor at all whatsoever, as this kickoff is away, and we're underway here in the Estadio Matt Wilson. This kickoff is returned up to about the 23-yard line, and Fort Worth will begin right there on their first drive, led by quarterback Marcus Dunhill.
And Dunhill has basically a return to form for him this season after a season with Jacksonville, maybe one to forget for him in terms of, interceptions with 31. But right now, he's maintaining a decent track record on the field for Fort Worth this season.
Have to keep an eye on a couple of receivers. We'll get to that in a moment, as this reception is made out to about the 28-yard line. Quick reception made out to the Cowboy, Robert Garrett Jr. Let's introduce you quickly to the offense for Fort Worth. We mentioned Marcus Dunhill at quarterback, Jason Williams and Jay-Z Bacon sharing halfback duties this evening, Eric Alexander the fullback, Kate Stevens, Charlie Baker, and Stephen Hacker the wideouts. Robert Garrett Jr. is a tight end, and Frank Burks anchors that offensive line at left guard. On 2nd and 5 for the Toros at the 28-yard line. Dunhill back to throw, deep drop. Left over.
Oh, he's gone.
Wide open, left-hand side. The Cowboy wide open. He's got running room all the way down to the 12-yard line, and that's going to set up great room all the way down inside the red zone.
How about 2 plays and 2 feeds to the tight end? Mexico City loves to use the hashtag throw it to the tight end, and Marcus Dunhill says to himself, all right, I could throw it to my tight end. And the Cowboy strikes again, guns blazing, my dude. And this is what Fort Worth needs to do. They need to strike quickly and get Mexico City off their feet right away. And with a big knockout shot early on. And this is how you start things off.
And a quick first handoff of the game, goes to, I believe, that was Jay-Z Bacon. We don't see Jay-Z Bacon get very many handoffs for the Toros, but he gets an early one here, but he gets a loss of a yard tackled on the play by Dexter Jackson.
Yeah, you called it. The benefactor of the carries is Jason Williams, who is 3rd in the league in carries coming into this week with 190, close to 800 yards total in rushing. So we should see a lot of J-Will coming in this game, too.
Back to throw. Dunhill, plenty of time along with the left-hand side, but that's going to be incomplete. Bring up a 3rd and 11. They had a couple of quick hits to the Cowboy, but they stalled on the last couple of plays, bring up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, they're going with their touchdown threat on the wide receiver end and Stephen Hacker, and he's looking for a couple milestones here. 62 yards away from 9,000 all-time. He just needs 2 yards to get himself top 15 all-time in receiving yards.
3rd and 11 from the 13-yard line. Dunhill back to throw, looking over to the right-hand side. Wow. Wide open. Touchdown, Toros. That's going to be Cade Stevens with a touchdown catch. And we thought that playing for the first time in Estadio Matt Wilson was going to bring him butterflies and a little bit of jitters. But that first drive showed no signs of that as they get 6 points early.
My friend, you were talking about 8-season veteran Marcus Dunhill here. I don't think he has any nerves in his body, especially this season with his efficiency ratings just nearly 78% and his completions heading in, and he was nearly perfect on this drive. 3 of 4, 82 yards, capping it off with Cade Stevens, Mr. Inbounds himself, and Fort Worth strikes first.
As kicker Amelia Rose comes on to tack on the extra point, is up and good. And 1 drive and 1 score early in this one brings the score to 7-0 Toros early in this ball game. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan and fantasy, as Jeffrey Daggs, the newly enshrined Hall of Famer, gets this return brought up to about the 20-yard line, giving him forward progress at that spot on his first return. And we'll see Matt Wilson get his first shot at it on the first drive of the ball game.
Yeah, for the first time this season, Wilson's going to have to shake off some cobwebs and shake off some bad juju out of him. Very rare to see this season out of him, but 5 interceptions against Atlanta. He cannot have a repeat performance against this Fort Worth defense.
trips to the bottom of the screen on the first play from scrimmage. Play action pass to the left-hand side and a quick completion to that right-hand side out to his receiver. That is going to be tight end, Mike Daggs, one of his favorite targets to throw to on the first play for 11 yards.
Yeah, we talk about return to form for Marcus Dunhill. It's also a return to form for Mike Daggs, as for the first time in a while, he's eyeing himself his second 1,000-yard season if he continues on this pace he's going.
Another same formation, trips to the bottom of the screen on 1st and 10. Another play action. Another throw over the middle this time, and a completion made to the 48-yard line, as that completion was made by Jacob McCall. Another first down, 2 quick plays out to close to midfield.
And what has made Matt Wilson so successful in the air this season is the share of wealth. You've got 4 receivers over 300 yards receiving through these first 8 games for the Mexico City Aztecs, which has made secondaries guess where he's going to throw the football, and that's how they've gotten to 6-2.
Wilson throwing for the 3rd time in a row, but he's going to get under pressure and he's going to go down for the sack. That is going to be Luther Gahn, the defensive tackle, coming in for the loss of 3 yards on that sack play.
Yeah, and Fort Worth is going to have a tough time against this offensive line that has only allowed 10 sacks this season, but they get one to him. This defense is very underrated. They're top 5 in tackles for losses and sacks, as well as tops in the league in pass deflection, so watch out for this Fort Worth defense.
Back to throw is Wilson. He's going to find his receiver, Nick Lockett, on the play. He's going to bring up an early 3rd down conversion, 3rd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, and this goal here for this play was just to get back in neutral ground, set up a 3rd and long situation. They're really relying on Wilson's arm to start things off, and that's usually status quo for the Aztecs as they march down the field. Once they get inside the 30-yard line, that's when you see Bentley and Phoenix Jones.
Wilson to throw. That's going to be incomplete. Targeting Terrell Cooper on that 3rd down attempt, but that's going to fall to the turf, bring up 4th down.
And a little bit of a hodgepodge of both defensive and offensive players in the vicinity of that area. A little bit of bump between the two teams, and it leads to a Wilson incompletion. And Mexico City forced to punt this football away after, cruising a little bit on this drive. And right now, advantage Fort Worth.
Punter George Amy coming on to punt this one away back to Fort Worth. Gets it away with no pressure. And return from about the 15. No return hardly whatsoever on that one. Tackled at the 16. And that is where Toros will set up shop on this 2nd drive of the ball game.
And the one thing we didn't mention was that that Fort Worth drive, how quickly it went. Just 1 minute and 46 seconds off the clock to strike first. How about a shock to the system for Mexico City? And now Fort Worth and Marcus Dunhill back at it again here.
1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Dunhill to throw deep over the middle. Another wide open throw. That's going to be Cade Stevens. He's got a wide open. 20 and 5. Touchdown. Cade Stevens, quick strike, 84 yards for the score.
You know what's better than 1 minute and 40 seconds? How about 15 seconds? Cade Stevens finds himself wide open down the middle of the field on a post route, beating the safeties. If you can beat the safeties, you are gone. And Cade Stevens strikes ever so quickly, and just like that, 6 plays total for Fort Worth's offense, and now 13 points. What a start to this game for the Toros.
Marcus Dunhill said, butterflies? Worries? What are you talking about?
What are
Coming
they?
Coming out firing on this one. Amelia Rose on to attempt the extra point. 2 drives, 2 scores, and 14-0 is the scoreline with 6:52 left in the first quarter.
My lord. Marcus Dunhill, 5 attempts, 4 completions, already at 166 yards. Some quarterbacks haven't even reached that in a full game. It's just an amazing job by this Fort Worth offense to completely shock Mexico City to start this game off. Not even 5 minutes old.
As this kick is away by Amelia Rose and return set up by Jeffrey Daggs for 2 yards deep inside his own end zone. He's going to bring it out and pulls his way over another defender. And brings the return out to the 22-yard line. Let's introduce you quickly to the Mexico City offense. We haven't done so yet. Let's do so now. Matt Wilson, as we said, is the quarterback. Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley share halfback duties. Jason Bartley, Nick Lockett, Terrell Cooper, and Jacob McCall are the wideouts. And Bill Henry and Mike Daggs are your tight ends. And handing the ball off to Phoenix Jones. I'm sorry, that is Ray Bentley on the carry, and that will go for 7 yards, bring up a 2nd and 3.
Yeah, the big difference between those two guys, Bentley has a neck roll and Phoenix Jones doesn't. And you'll see Ray Bentley, he's going to be the power back. He's going to dive forward for as many yards as possible, while Phoenix Jones is that smart, meticulous running back that Mexico City has loved to use over the last couple seasons.
That handoff is made, and that's going to go for no gain on the play. That was Ray Bentley again, I believe, and that's going to go for no gain and bring up a 3rd and 3. J.L. Browning on the tackle.
Scratch that. I believe that was Jones this time. He's the skinnier option of the two. But this one goes for no gain, and now Mexico City having to throw it out again. Second chance to convert on this 3rd down.
Matt Wilson to throw. Give you a break this time on these halfbacks, as that's going to be completed out to Jacob McCall. First down on the play out to the Mexico City 35-yard line.
And now at this point, when you're down 2 scores, Mexico City has to use their advantages. They're tops in the league in rushing touchdowns. They've got 20 touchdowns between the two running backs, and their 3rd down conversions untouched. 71% of their 3rd downs are always converted, and that's how they get their points. They convert on 3rd downs, and then they rush it home for touchdowns. So they need to start relying on their strengths to get them back in this game.
First and 10 from the 35-yard line. Hands the ball off to Ray Bentley. I saw the neck roll that time. And that'll go for 3 yards on the play out to the 39-yard line, bring up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and if Fort Worth is going to have a goal this week, it's to basically eliminate any chance of Phoenix Jones and Ray Bentley getting going defensively. And they are a top 10 rushing defense. They only allow sub 80 yards per game, so they need to use that defense and stop them right away.
A nice hurdle over the defensive line this time by Phoenix Jones. He's going to go for 7 yards, getting right to that first down marker, and they're going to give it to him, moving his chains.
Yeah, and, just that quick burst of speed sometimes Phoenix Jones can have. If there is enough space between, great block by the fullback on that one to give Phoenix Jones just enough space through. And that's all really Jones needs. He can kind of be slow and meticulous and smart to find his spots, but sometimes if he needs to burst open, he will break the sound barrier and get himself a first down.
Launches to the bottom of the screen for the receivers. Back to throw, Wilson over the middle, and that's going to be completed at about the 47-yard line. Gain of about 8 on the play. Jason Bartley with the completion.
Yeah, and this is what Mexico City loves to do here. They start, inching their way forward. They're nickel and diming offense, and, it sets them off for a lot of 3rd downs, but they convert those 3rd downs, and it leads them to scores. So if it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it.
Wilson to throw into flats, finds Ray Bentley, just enough for the first down, powers his way towards that sideline, out to the 44-yard line, moving the chains once again. And you said it, Brett, once they start inching forward 2 or 3 yards at a time, it's tough to slow them down. They're proving it right now.
Yeah, and that's all they really need here, but they really need to, think about timing sometimes, because Fort Worth has given you 2 quick strikes to the face here, and you need to respond, and this is a good way to do it, to slow things down and make the defense tired.
Matt Wilson to throw, out in the flats again. Ray Bentley tries a spin move, but a good at-home play this time by Fort Worth's defense, Nacho Sicario. Oh, Ray Bentley's down. He's not getting up. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it's nothing serious. We'll give you updates as we receive it. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of him. Let's hope, and let's hope he'll be able to return to this one.
Oh, take a look at that replay again. Look at the shoulder, and then look at the head of Nacho Sicario. There might have been head-on-head collision, and I've had a couple concussions, in my lifetime, and those suck. So hopefully he doesn't have one himself after that play.
Yeah, let's hope it's just wind knocked out and not a concussion. We'll have to keep an eye on that again, but we'll definitely see Phoenix Jones getting a bulk of the carries now, as we'll see a flag come out and a possible offsides maybe on this next play as they get close to the first down, but we'll see what the flag is.
Yeah, I think they'll take this penalty regardless. Oh, that's a hold.
Holding.
That's an
I didn't see
offensive
anybody.
hold.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't see anybody jump, so I wasn't sure if it was an offsides or not. That is an offensive holding on the play, number 70 for Mexico City. That's the guard Dante Dangerfield, living dangerously on that play, and he got caught this time holding, and that's gonna bring him back 10 yards.
Yeah, and no relation to Rodney Dangerfield and, king of the one-liners, and I hope he's not king of the penalties here if he continues to hold.
2nd and 16 coming up for Mexico City. Deep drop back for Wilson. Throwing over the middle, completed to about the 46-yard line. Mike Daggs with the completion, but not much on the gain. Maybe 4 yards, bringing up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, and, it's a 3rd and long situation, and this might pay dividends for Mexico City. Like I said, over 70% of their 3rd downs are converted, and I would focus on Mike Daggs, even though there's 4 wide out right now, 3 to the left.
Low snap, but Wilson able to corral it. That's tipped off. Look out. He's got running room.
No
30,
way.
20, 10. That's going to be a score. Remington James makes Fort Worth go up by 3 scores. James got the pick. He saw green and he saw thick.
And the Fort Worth offense might be throwing haymakers, but that was a sick uppercut of a pick six from Remington James in the Fort Worth defense. Mexico City was doing a fantastic job playing their kind of offense, inching themselves forward and dictating the pace of this game. But then it went into a 3rd and long scenario, something Fort Worth loves to get themselves into, force the pass, and knowing that Mike Daggs is probably the main option, James just stays in front, gets the interception, and there was plenty of space on that right side. How about a 3-score lead 9 minutes into this game?
Up 3 scores, as you stated, 2:23 left in the first quarter. Wow, we did not expect to see this kind of game from Fort Worth. They showed no signs of being starstruck at all by the stadium or by the environment. And they came out swinging early in this one as Amelia Rose gets the extra point up and through, and they're up now 21-0 late stages of the first quarter.
Yeah, and you talked about it. A stadium Matt Wilson is probably one of the toughest stadiums to play in, and I can attest to that myself, playing in about 6 or 7 games as a member of the Vancouver Legion and maybe only winning once. So Fort Worth, my God, what a start to this game for them.
But the thing is as Jeffrey Daggs brings this return out to about the 23-yard line, yes, you have the early lead 21-0, but you have to sustain the lead. That's the thing. It's only the first quarter. Mexico City still has 3 more quarters to play, and they've shown that they can strike quick themselves. They have Matt Wilson, the Hall of Famer, back there as a gunslinger themselves, and this game is far from over, so we'll have to see what they do here on this next drive.
Yeah, Daggs is going to get a lot of looks, as well as Jason Bartley. He's just coming off a 118-yard game last week.
Wilson, play action. Looking left, finds a receiver, and that's going to be out to Jason Bartley, out to the 33-yard line. They're going to mark him inches short of the first down, but bring up a 2nd and inches play coming up.
Yeah, and the Aztecs still want to go with their offensive style. Slow the pace down, get themselves, get the defense tired. That's the main thing. They're back out on the field again with very little rest after the pick six. So why not just drain any energy that Fort Worth has so that you can get a shot yourselves into the end zone.
Hands the ball off to Phoenix Jones once again. That's going to go for a gain of about 4 yards and a first down, bringing the ball out to about 36-yard line, moving the chains, doing just what they need to do to get that first down.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they wanted. It's a 2nd and inches situation. Just hand the ball off, get the first down, set up a new formation. Make that Fort Worth defense guess this time, as it's a bunch formation. Look at the receivers.
Yeah, but those defenders are playing close as well, but he does find Mike Daggs out there to the right-hand side, getting an 8-yard reception out there to him on the play, bring up a 2nd and short.
Yeah, tight end versus inside linebacker. It was Vincent v. Daggs, and Daggs gets one over him. What a throw from Wilson as well, just arcing it over Vincent just enough so that Daggs can catch it and get those 8 yards.
Wilson with the I formation behind him on 2nd and 2. look for Jones to get this one on the handoff. They do hand it off to Jones. Gets about 4 yards on the play to about the 48-yard line. And that'll be another first down for the Aztecs.
You know, as much as the injury to Ray Bentley hurts right now, Phoenix Jones has to think to himself, this is my opportunity to take over in this game if I need to for Mexico City. Now with, you know, just the one star running back right now, the one main name running back, maybe he gets some more looks and he'll start dominating in this quarter.
Back to throw. Wilson looking over the middle, wide open, and that's going to be completed. Zebra might have gotten in the way of that one, but it was completed nonetheless. Out to Jacob McCall for a nice first down the play.
You ever heard of one-on-one coverage between the player and a referee? I mean, McCall did a great job changing direction, getting himself basically an inside deep slant or a post route. But it was a great job for him to get the catch despite the fact.
We've reached the end of the first quarter of play of this one. It's been all Fort Worth early, 21-0. You're watching the SFL here on Next Level. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. As we bring you back here for the second quarter of play, a quick note that pick six by Remington James was his first of his career, so congrats to him on that, as this pass from Matt Wilson is completed out to number 81, Jacob McCall, for 90 yards on the play, and a second and short coming up.
You know, and we saw a lot of Jason Bartley last week, and usually they like to mix it up with their main wide receiver targets. And it seems to be McCall's going to be the guy in this first half as he gets his third reception here.
2nd and 1. Delayed handoff made to Phoenix Jones, but that's going to go nowhere. No gain on the play as J.L. Browning brings them down at the line.
And we still get no update from Ray Bentley's injury. We have to think that Phoenix Jones is still going to get the brunt of the carries moving forward, and he needs to make something out of it. He's only got four carries for 8 yards. They need more out of him right now.
They need more out of him, and they need a first down. They need to think 6 and not 3 here. They do get a wide open hole, and he's throwing speed inside the 5. Touchdown, Phoenix Jones, and they're right back in this one as he goes all the way for 6 points, and they're on the board.
And there's the shot Mexico City needed, a 25-yard scamper. Probably one of the tougher runs he's had to do this season. Fort Worth has a menacing run defense, getting past the linebacking core, busting through a couple players. shedding tackles, and that's all he really needed. Just continue going down the right side, had a blocker with him, and Mexico City gets the points that they need to get back in this game, and hopefully this will turn a little bit better for them in terms of first half. So you have to remember that Mexico City was down big against Atlanta last week, had to fight themselves back. So hopefully this time they'll fight back a little bit faster here.
Absolutely brutal shoulder check to Delaney Nash on that run as the kicker Cole Varner comes on to tack on the extra point, bringing the score to 21-7, cutting the lead down to 2 scores now for Fort Worth as they get back into this ball game.
Now the next task for Mexico City is to step up on defense. Fort Worth's opportunities have been quick scores. 12-yard, it was a 5-play 81-yard for less than 2 minutes, and then a 16-second 1-yard passing touchdown. They need to shore up the defense.
This return is made by Charlie Baker up to about the 24-yard line, and that's where we'll see Fort Worth back on offense on this next possession. It's been a while since we've seen their offense back on the field. They had that pick six, and Mexico City had 2 offensive possessions in a row in between that pick six. So it's been a while, and we'll see Dunhill back in action here. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. And the handoff is made this time to Jason Williams, and he's going to go about 3 yards, and Ray Bentley is out for the rest of this game with a broken hand.
Oh, it was interesting that his hand got broken there. I thought it might have been a neck or concussion problem from the hit that we saw from Nacho Sicario, but looked like he did something with his hand instead. So that's going to be a key loss. So hopefully Phoenix Jones steps up like we saw on that 25-yard touchdown earlier.
Yeah, so we will see Phoenix Jones get the rest of the work in this ball game at halfback as this handoff is made to Jason Williams, and Williams goes out for another first down run out to the 37-yard line. Another first down run, and that's what we come accustomed to seeing him do throughout his career for this Fort Worth Toros offense.
Yeah, he's got over 10,000 yards. He's one of 10 running backs to kind of be in that exclusive 10K club. And this season, he's after this game for sure, he's going to break open over 800 yards on his pace for another 1,000-yard season. He's just been a fantastic player to watch.
Oh, Dunhill's going to go down for the sack. Dan Tritz in for the sackaroonie inside the 30-yard line. They're going to say right at the 30, actually. And Bernard Patterson was in there for another half of that sack as well.
Yeah, and we're seeing this more often in the SFL. It's the defensive ends and the defensive tackles crossing each other and switching positions mid-play. And you can see both interior linemen on the edge side getting open and free, and basically just a big sack burger with Marcus Dunhill being the main ingredient on that fantastic sack.
Bring up a 2nd and 17. Deep drop for Dunhill. That's tipped up in the air and incomplete, as that is Ben Charbs on the pass deflection.
And they've got some good pass deflectors on the secondary as well. And Ben Charbs gets his 7th of the season. You've got Gerard Brody, who is top 10 in pass deflections. As a whole, this team is top 10 as well. 8th in the league in pass deflections with 45. So you got to be careful with that secondary unit in Mexico City.
This game overall features the 2 of the top 10 of this league, because Fort Worth is number 1 overall in the SFL as well. One. And that's going to be out. Another one is they were looking for Stephen Hacker deep over the middle, but nothing doing. Another pass deflection brings up 4th down.
And now it's a good turnaround here for Mexico City, getting that stop and stifling Fort Worth for the first time in this game, and now punting the football back to Mexico City after getting a nice drive to get themselves a touchdown. They need a repeat performance from Wilson and Jones and company to get back in this game.
Back to punt from about the 15, gets it away with no pressure. Jeffrey Daggs on the return to about the 38-yard line, and the offense for Mexico City will get back out and at it. The SFL Network is coming to the ESTV Plus app 24/7 SFL programming will include content created by the community, the SFL's greatest games from the archives, exclusive network content, and live SFL regular season games. Download the ESTV Plus app on your Android or iPhone or on your TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, Vizio, and more. The SFL network, where SFL creators come together. As that pass was over the middle and tipped away as JL Browning gets the pass deflection.
Yeah, and now we're talking about pass deflections here. The league leaders in pass deflections getting themselves involved here. JL Browning with his 8th of the season now coming in. You've got Adam Leach with 11, Ben Stone with 10, Delaney Nash second in the league with 12 himself. So these are players on this defense that can stifle passing offenses when they have to with the pass deflections.
4 wide this time for Matt Wilson with Phoenix Jones by himself in the backfield. Back to throw is Wilson out there in the flats to Jones, and he's going to get wrestled down for a gain of 5. What? No way! Ray Bentley's playing with a broken hand, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, look at the intestinal fortitude on him. He said, "Coach, tape my hand up. I don't care if the pundits say I'm out for 2 weeks. I'm going to get myself involved here," and he gets 5 yards out of that. Ain't going to stop him, that broken hand.
2 plays in a row, he's out there, and he's going to get another catch. Oh, they're going to call pass interference. They're going to call pass interference on the defense, looking for Ray Bentley, and it bounces off his hands, but that's going to be DPI.
I wouldn't know.
Well,
They're
maybe.
saying holding. That might be a defensive hold. No, it's an offensive hold.
Oh, wow. Well, I take that back. I'm sorry to the Fort Worth Toros. I thought that for sure might have been PI, but they're going to call offensive holding on Mexico City, the center, Tyler Kane, the guilty party.
And it's interesting that Wilson went Bentley's way despite the broken hand. You think that he would have a little bit more difficulty catching a football no matter the speed of it, but nonetheless, this pushes them back, and now it's 4th and 5. They're going to be punting the football away here.
Yeah, they ended up declining that holding penalty because that brought up 4th down because of the incompletion. So that got the fair catch away to Charlie Baker, and Fort Worth will start their offensive drive at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, and we've seen this story before where they're deep in their own territory and they find their receiver deep in one play. But I think this might turn out a little bit differently. I don't think we're gonna get a Kate Stevens touchdown again.
They do have split backs in the backfield and 3 wide. Back throw is Dunhill, falling backwards down to the ground, but completed for 5 yards on the play. That's Charlie Baker with a completion.
Yeah, and what Fort Worth wants to do here is they want to dictate their own pace. They're up 2 scores. Mexico City's trying to gain momentum back. They might have, gotten a 3 and out and punted the football back to you, but this defense is starting to wake up a little bit here and made your life a little bit tougher. So time to get first downs.
Hands the ball off to Jason Williams and gets enough for the first down. Gain of about 6 on the play, just enough to move those shit.
Yeah, and I think with this game here, you don't need much out of Thrilliums here. You just need him to get those first downs when need be, because Dunhill, look, he's got that dog in him right now tonight, and he might carry this team to a win if he continues through this momentum that he's got.
First attempt from the 33. Hands the ball off to the fullback this time, Aaron Alexander, who usually gets most of the flat route patterns. Doesn't see too many handoffs, but he does get the handoff here. Gets about 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, just his 11th carry this season here. And like you said, he's usually the flat route guy on the side opposite to Jason Williams. And, going up the gut this time gets you the 2 yards that you kind of expect him to get, sets up a 2nd and 8.
Empty backfield, and Dunhill in the gun with 4 wide this time. Back to throw on 2nd and 8. Left side. Deep for the left side, and Hacker's got a completion. And that is going to get him into 15th place all-time in receiving yards.
Yeah, a big catch from Hacker there, and a great job getting himself just open enough, beating Gerard Brody on that top side. And Brody almost got that deflection. He was about 3 or 4 inches away from getting that football, but this time Hacker gets the catch, and he moves himself into enemy territory, these Toros, and they're threatening again.
35-yard line of Mexico City. Back in the gun once again is Dunhill on first down. Back to throw. Pick off. picked off back to Mexico City, as that is going to be number 42, Ronnie Watson, the outside linebacker, with the interception. We usually see the linebackers have those stone hands, but this time Watson able to hold on to it with the interception, gets the ball right back to the offense of Mexico City. We are back, and we got the completion to Dags, and we just saw a 1-yard run to Bentley, so it brings up a 2nd and 9 play to the 49-yard line.
Yeah, first off was a nice, quick post route or quick corner route to Dags to get himself open for that first down, and they follow it up right away with Ray Bentley. Broken hand and all, he's still going to get a yard.
Heavy I formation for Mexico City. Hands the ball off to Bentley again. Tough running by this halfback, and gets down to about the 46-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 5. Excuse me, I believe that was Jones this time.
Yeah, it was Jones this time. They still want to kind of split things up a little bit here, and I think they should, let Bentley rest a little bit here, just use him as a blocking option a little bit more and let Phoenix Jones kind of take the reins of the running game. But here we are, 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5, Wilson to throw, and that's going to get batted away and incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down from the 46-yard line. So that was batted away by Fort Worth's defense, and to bring up 4th down.
And how interesting this has been already. Mexico City with 6 chances to convert on 3rd down. They're 3 of 6 so far. That's okay to, kind of go things off here, but they're 1 of 3 in this quarter. And if they're trying to get back in this game, you need to convert in those 3rd downs. And right now, they're a little bit spotty.
Back to punt is George Amy once again. A little bit of pressure this time by Fort Worth special teams, and that's going to be back to about the 10-yard line on the return by Charlie Baker, and brought out to about the 14-yard line. That's where Fort Worth's offense will be starting their next possession.
Now, it'll be interesting what Fort Worth, their approach is going to be heading to this last 3:53 of this half. They know that Mexico City is trying to get back in this game, and your offense is kind of slowed down since you haven't been out on the field that much. So maybe get Jason Williams a little bit more involved and, kind of tire up this defense. We're not sure how this is going to approach.
Back to throw. Over the middle. Sliding catch made by Cade Stevens out to the 31-yard line. Beautiful sliding catch, I might add, to get that 1st down.
Yeah, there's an absolute dot between 3 defenders from Marcus Dunhill. And that's what you should expect out of this quarterback here. Throwing it over the hands of John Fowler and in between Jeffrey Daggs and Ben Charbs. Both safeties kind of getting involved on that left side of the field, but it still lands in the hands of Cade Stevens, and they quickly move up the field there with a 15-yard catch.
First and 10 from Fort Worth's 31-yard line. Deep drop for Dunhill. Bobbled up in the air by the receiver and incomplete. Jeffrey Daggs on the coverage. Caused too much of a distraction for the receiver to come down with it. Cowboy couldn't corral it, and now it'll be second down.
Now that was a picture-perfect throw again from Marcus Dunhill right into the basket of RGJ. This time he just couldn't manage to grab it, but thankfully it still sets up a 2nd and 10. It's okay.
High formation, hands the ball off this time to Williams, and that's going to go nowhere. Back to line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard. Dan Fritz on the tackle, bringing up an important third down attempt here for the Toros.
Yeah, not a lot of involvement from the Fort Worth running game. It's only going to be their 6th attempt on the ground, as Dunhill is going to probably be setting up for his 13th throw in this game here. But they haven't had to worry about the running game that much, as their passing game has been spectacular.
In the gun this time is Dunhill. Plenty of time to throw. Looking deep, right-hand side, and that's going to be a completion up in the air to sky that one. To snag it was Cade Stevens. He's already got 142 yards. A lot of that was on that deep touchdown completion, of course. But that's going to be a great first down to move the chains.
Now I'm getting vibes of Season 9, Cade Stevens in Vancouver over here. This is what he did a lot with Tom Pepper's first season. Made it an easy work for him as it makes Marcus Dunhill's life a hell of a lot easier if he can get those kind of catches. Fantastic work from Stevens.
Inside Mexico City territory now, hands the ball off to Jason Williams inside the 40-yard line to the 39 to set up a 2nd and 8 situation, as that was Dexter Jackson in on the tackle.
And that'll get themselves to the 2-minute warning, which I think is what they wanted to get at.
And we have hit the 2-minute warning. Fort Worth still hanging on to a 2-touchdown lead, 21-7. You're watching the SFL live on Next Level Sports. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break. Fort Worth is. We welcome you back here on offense with Fort Worth on a 2nd and 8, handing the ball off to Jason Williams, losing a yard on the play, bring up a 3rd and 9, as that is going to be Ronnie Watson with a tackle for loss. And you mentioned it earlier in this game, Brett. Ronnie Watson, that's what he's used to doing with the tackle for losses when he got the pick earlier.
Yeah, and he just continues the momentum there. Even after the pick, he's still going to get those tackles for loss. Now 15 for the season.
Back to throw, Dunhill on 3rd down. And that's going to be short of the 1st down marker. Charlie Baker with the reception, but it's going to bring up a 4th and 3 from the 35-yard line. We'll see if they trot out Amelia Rose. Might be outside of her range, but it looks like they are trotting her out. Might be a 52-yard attempt. We'll see if she has the leg.
And they're quickly getting it up there, so at least Rose will have a chance. But she has been the most active kicker in the league, 23 of 24 coming into this season. This one coming from 51. Let's see what happens.
Letting the clock tick down a little bit, giving Mexico City less time to do anything with it on offense. Snap is down. The kick is up. It has the distance, and it is good from 51 yards out. Amelia Rose had plenty to spare as well, and that extends the lead for the Toros, 24-7. Less than a minute to go here in the half.
Yeah, you said it. That looked to be enough leg for a 55-yarder. She had plenty of breathing space between the uprights in that football.
As this kickoff is away by Rose, and this return set up at the 3-yard line. Jeffrey Daggs gets it out to about the 26-yard line, and they'll set up shop right there on this upcoming drive. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will break down the first half between the Toros and the Aztecs, recap the best of the Saturday's action, review Sunday's early games, and update you on action going on in Phoenix between Florida and Arizona. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. As Mexico City sets up from the 26-yard line, heavy I formation, hands the ball off. This time it is Phoenix Jones getting about 2 yards on the play, setting up a 2nd and 8.
Very interesting how Mexico City is kind of approaching this. They go with the run. The game clock is ahead. The play clock is ahead of the game clock right now. So if they want to get something set up for a play, they better do it now. And they've got to set up here 3 trips bunch to the left side.
2nd and 8 from the 28. Deep drop for Wilson. Got a little bit of pressure in his face, but he still gets it off, and that's going to be about a half yard shy. Yeah, about a half yard shy of the 1st down. They do call a timeout with about 3 seconds left, but it's going to be 3rd and inches from that.
3rd down and Hail Gary time for Matt Wilson, and we know he has the arm to at least go 50 yards. This might be a little bit too deep for his liking. But I would still risk it, because you're down at this point 17, and you got to get any points that you can heading into this locker room, because Fort Worth has a little bit momentum back. They're just going to run the clock down and get in the locker room, which isn't a bad idea either.
Absolutely not. They hand the ball off this time, and that's going to go nowhere, as Phoenix Jones loses a half a yard with a tackle made by Jabril Curse. And that will bring an end to the first half of play, with the score Fort Worth 24 and Mexico City 7. We'll be back with the halftime show after this short break. You're watching the SFL live on Next Level Sports, presented by APM Music. Don't go anywhere.
to SFL Studios for the APM Music Halftime Report. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine, and for the second straight week, Mexico City starts sluggish. This time at home, Mike St. Green down 21-0. Again, settled the team down and got themselves together in the second quarter, but has to be a discouraging trend here for the Aztecs as they are down big at home at the half.
Yeah, they're going to have to address this moving forward, Cam. The past first quarters, rather, they've been outscored 52 to nothing. They did, as you mentioned, kind of, get things settled in a little bit this time around before it got too far out of hand. But they still have a big hill to climb here in the second half.
And on the Fort Worth side, Marcus Dunhill at over near 250 yards. Passing 247 on just 9 completions. He's averaging 17.6 yards per attempt. That has to be one of the wildest stats I've seen all season, Mike St. Green. He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, he's been great in this first half, and most of that yardage has been to Cade Stevens. A couple of touchdowns from him, and he's on his way to a career game, it looks like, as well.
So Fort Worth up big. They are trying to take the lead in the South for the first time this season, and it's going to be an interesting second half. But for now, let's get to the best of a Saturday around the SFL. Here on Next Level was LA and Queen City. We picked this up early in the second quarter. We saw a lot of Logan Jack in the first half. Gets the first down into the red zone with LA down 3-0. And then on the next play, Logan Jack, or a couple plays later, rather, Logan Jack on second and short would take it into the end zone, and L.A. took a 7-3 lead.
Yeah, we saw a lot of turnovers in the first half, Cam, but I think these teams got settled in the second quarter, and we saw Logan Jack take it in for a score.
And to start the second half, Logan Jack was out of there, and I was hoping you wouldn't bring up that sloppy first quarter, Mike. We just kind of brushed past that because it was ugly out there. But Logan Jack, on the first play in the third quarter, goes yard and puts LA up 14-6. And then after this, Mike, really didn't see a whole lot of Logan Jack.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, Cam. That was pretty much the LA offense yesterday, and he was a spark for them, and he really got them going. And then we see Matthews Jr. here with a big catch, and he had a big game yesterday as well.
Queen City answers back. At that point, O.J. Bruin, nearly 300 yards, fires it into the corner of the end zone. That's caught by Doug Spelling. And just like that, Queen City makes it a 14-12 ball game. They would go for 2 late in the third. Love the aggressiveness. And it's O.J. Bruin dumping it off to Jet Zero. And just like that, we are tied at 14.
Yeah, that was a big drive right there at that time. And I agreed with the choice to go for 2, and Jet Zero punched it in.
Late fourth quarter, Queen City with an interception, tied at 17. And L.A. was never the same after that, as Mike Jones picks that off, and Sully threw 4 picks in this game. Very uncharacteristic, poor game from Sully Richardson today, or yesterday.
Yeah, that was very uncharacteristic for Sully and that LA offense. They like to play it close to the vest and control the ball and control the clock and play defense. But unfortunately for LA, the offense just was struggling all day yesterday.
Bruin hits Doug Spelling over the middle. Queen City answering off the turnover. Look at this wild play. Out to Jet Zero. He's all alone. Credit O.J. Bruin for the insane vision. And O.J. Bruin now 350 on the day. He hands it off to Jet Zero, and Queen City cleaned it up. And they beat L.A. 26-17. Denver at Houston, as Dave Burr was finding everybody. First, he finds Mike St. Green, and he's gone from 74 yards away. Burr not finished, not even close to being finished. Still in the first half, still in the first quarter. Dave Burr this time finds DR Sim down the field. 14-3, Houston has the lead. So Burr's found St. Green, he's found Sim, now he's found Greg Corky. That's a touchdown. 21-3, Houston had the lead over Denver. How about G.P. Wells? Let's get him going. He's out of there in the third quarter, Mike, and it's 31-3. This was just the type of day for Houston.
Yeah, it was a big day for the Houston offense. In particular, this is the way Houston likes to score, the big plays. I was wondering if you were going to give me an opportunity to comment on that first touchdown, but we'll just let that slide now. And look at G.P. Wells. He had a huge day yesterday, 199 yards and a couple of touchdowns, and this Houston big play offense was in full effect yesterday.
Denver didn't go away, down 31-3. They made things interesting. Eric Price to Logan Keel makes it 31-10. Next possession, Bailey O'Shaughnessy puts his foot in the ground and gets upfield. He scores. So before the fourth quarter, it's 31-17. And Denver's starting to make things interesting.
Yeah, considering that Houston had just, given up a 21-point lead a couple of weeks ago to Lone Star, it's kind of, got a little sketchy here for Houston, but they were able to get things settled back in and control the game after this point.
You see Brady Clark, he whiffed on the tackle trying to catch Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Denver's got the ball in Houston territory, but it's Brady Clark getting revenge, and that really immediately halted Denver's comeback momentum. 4 minutes to go in the game, still the same score. They hand it off to GP. He's got another one. Houston tacked on another, and they win 45-17, dropping the Nightwings to 3-6. Isabella Blackwell with the late interception. That was actually the first turnover of the game for Denver with 3:49 to go in the fourth quarter. Seattle hosting Canton, and right from the jump, Mike, this Seattle Nemesis team came to play. That's Trellis Blanton to Paulie Truth. Then it's Trellis Blanton, top of the screen to David Gears, who's been terrific for this team. What an acquisition in the offseason from Vancouver. And then it's Trellis Blanton handing it off to Jalen Wells for the touchdown. And what an opening drive. They made a statement early, Mike.
Yeah, Trellis Blanton, he was extremely efficient yesterday, and what helped him a lot was that running game of Jalen Wells. He had a big game yesterday as well.
Canton would answer back. What a diving catch by Mike Twinscrew in the end zone from Cameron Curtis. They tie it at 7, now down 10-7. Another dime from Cameron Curtis to Kendra Hall in the back of the end zone. And Canton actually led in this one 14-10.
At this point, you kind of thought, Canton, they've been on a roll, at 1-4 in a row. You were kind of thinking, well, Seattle hadn't won a game. You were thinking Canton had, righted the ship and got things turned around, was probably going to go on to victory.
We haven't seen this Jalen Wells all season long. Chris Porter got hurt. That was a key injury for Canton. I think that's the second game this season he's been injured and out. Jalen Wells scores the touchdown 5 seconds later, and just like that, Seattle was back out in front. And yeah, you should flex as the Nemesis, an expansion team this season, 0-8, seeking their first win just before the half after a Seattle sack. Cameron Curtis is picked off by Kevin Smoker, and this is when Seattle started rolling downhill.
Yeah, you've kind of been seeing this over the past couple of weeks with Seattle. They played a really good game the previous week, and then we saw it right here. A total, effort on, complete effort on both sides of the ball. The defense stepping up here with a big interception at a crucial point in the game. 17-14,
Blanton going to the end zone. That pass is caught. Touchdown. That is the mid-season acquisition for Seattle. Not Patton. Oh, the name escapes me. I'm so sorry. Jalen Wells gets the touchdown for Seattle, and that's all she wrote. Seattle. That's the important thing. Seattle wins their first game in franchise history, 31-17. They drop to Canton to 4-5 and end their 4-game winning streak, Mike.
Yeah, that's a big win for that franchise. Always get to, the first one is the toughest one to get, especially after you've been struggling the way that they have. So, congratulations to them and Ethan Kai and those guys over there, man. They've done been a long season. They've done a great job to fight back and get that first win in franchise history.
So now the updated playoff picture coming into today. We're going to take a look at that. And coming into today, Houston leapfrogs to 6th with their win over Denver. You've got Lone Star actually going into 10th, getting the SOV over Minnesota based on victories in that one. But more interesting is what's happening on the outside looking in. Canton slips behind Atlanta, although Atlanta lost today. And then Sioux Falls and Vegas trade places. Sioux Falls, with Tulsa's loss today, actually becomes the leader in the Central Division. And so they will now be in the top 12, putting Minnesota and Tulsa in a little bit of jeopardy at 5-4 as non-division leaders. It's wild out there.
Yeah, this is going to be a chaotic last 3 weeks of the season, Cam. But it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see just how things are going to change from week to week and from game to game. Pretty much as we're going to see tonight, whatever the results are tonight, we're going to see a shuffle in that playoff picture as we end these games later on here tonight.
Since we went to halftime, Florida has really turned on the juice against Arizona. Bullet Boletsky, a long touchdown pass, made it 10-6, Florida. And then Ryan Davidson again, Mike St. Green, his 4th defensive touchdown. And Florida has a 17-6 lead on the road in Arizona, and they are driving in Arizona territory nearing the half. What do you think about what Florida's doing on the road to help keep Louisiana in the rearview mirror in the East?
Yeah, it's the usual suspects for Florida. Charlie Boletsky, the MVP, reigning MVP, big play for them. He's really been coming on strong here of late. And Ryan Davidson, he's been everything to that defensive side of the ball. He leads them in tackles. He leads them in interceptions. So it's no surprise that both of those players are making big plays for the Storm tonight against Arizona.
Earlier today, D.C. defeated Tulsa 31-16 in a rematch of last season's wild card. Tulsa got the upset in that game. And then Louisiana clobbered Atlanta, as we mentioned, 42-21. Louisiana improves to 4-5. D.C. improves to 8-1. They are a half game back of Baltimore for the tie in the Atlantic. Baltimore has a bye next week. And DC plays Minnesota right here on Next Level Sports. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Atlantic looks after this week. But, Mike, we were talking about the DC-Tulsa game, which was the much more competitive game. If you're a Tulsa fan, you feel pretty good about the way you played, even though you came up short against a much-improved Dragons squad.
Well, we talked about this game a little bit last week as well. This is going to be a litmus test for Tulsa to see where they stand with the top and upper echelon teams in the league. And they had a good showing tonight. But do you want to take home a participation trophy, or do you want to take that next step? I think they should, in general, feel good about their performance. They're still in the division race as far as making the playoffs, but I know this team wants to take the next step. But at the end of the day, the DC Dragons, they're one of the better teams in this league, and that one loss that shows that. And basically right now, no other team has a larger winning streak ahead of DC other than London Knights. So they're playing great, one of the better teams in the league, and Tulsa has nothing to hang their heads about after a tough loss tonight.
Am I the only one around here that thinks it's kind of odd that Fort Worth's only up 17? It seemed like they played a near-perfect first half, and Mexico City gets the ball to start the second. They almost got back in it against Atlanta despite that horrific first quarter last week. Any thoughts to whether they can do it again here, Mike, or do you really like what Fort Worth's doing right now?
I really like what Fort Worth's doing, but Mexico City, they're a dangerous team. If they can come out and get a score here on this opening drive, then they can possibly start doing the type of things that Mexico City likes to do, which is run the ball, control the clock, keep that Fort Worth offense off the field, and they can possibly slowly get back in it. They always have a Jeffrey Daggs back there that can make a big play in special teams all on defense. So a couple of plays here or there, they can get back in it and get back to doing the things that they like to do, which is control the clock, run the ball, and move the chains.
All right, Mike St. Green and I will be back to wrap up Week 11 here from SFL Studios after your game. But Nate and Brett are back after this commercial break. We'll see what Fort Worth and Mexico City have for us in store in the second half. This has been the APM Music Halftime Report, and you're watching the Simulation Football League on Next Level Sports. Don't go anywhere.
And we welcome you to second half action from Estadio Matt Wilson. Mexico City set to receive the second half kickoff. And Brett, as we get set for the second half kickoff, and Jeffrey Daggs to return us from 2 yards deep inside their own end zone and brought out to about, well, still on his feet, brought out to about the 29-yard line. What kind of adjustments do you think Mexico City's going to have to make to try to get themselves back into this ballgame?
I think they need more aggression coming out of this. I know that they love to dictate the pace of the game and get those first downs, but if they're going to rely on Phoenix Jones and the injured hand of Ray Bentley, they need to get themselves, bigger runs. They can't just rely on 5-6 yard runs. They need to get immediate first down runs and then dictate the offense that way.
Matt Wilson,
that's
an immediate interception on the first play from scrimmage in the second half, and that is going to be number 31, Nacho Sicario with the pick.
And Sicario's kind of been all over the place throughout this game. He laid the hit on Ray Bentley that broke his hand. And this time, again, looking towards the direction of Mike Daggs. It seems like Fort Worth knows where that football's going to go to a lot. That's Daggs' 7th target in this game. Delaney Nash did a good job bringing it in and making that basically a 1-on-2 coverage. And now Fort Worth in enemy territory here. This is shades of the first quarter all over again if they can get things going immediately on this drive.
Not only did Mike Daggs get targeted with the catch, he also got targeted with the smash after the interception by Delaney Nash, as that handoff gets made to Jason Williams, and that's going to be a first down run off that right-hand side.
And the stretch run is probably my most favorite run in the SFL. And look at that key block from Aaron Alexander to give Williams an extra couple yards after the spin move. And even though he's been rather quiet today, only 33 yards on the 7 carries so far, he's done what he's needed to do.
Another handoff to Williams off the left side. It's got a wide open lane inside the 15, down to the 13, first down.
And again, credit Alexander, the fullback, coming in. You had Jay-Z Bacon along with him as well, if I'm not mistaken, or that might have been Robert Garrett Jr. He's a kind of the taller option, but you'll see that second block right there to shove down one of the defenders to give Williams an extra yard or two to get that first down, and immediately, just in 2 plays, Fort Worth gets themselves in the red zone.
Inside the 15 to the 13, I formation for Fort Worth. Hands the ball for the 3rd time in a row to Jason Williams. Going nowhere this time, a loss of a yard on the play. Mexico City was ready for that one, as that was number 42, Ronnie Watson, with another TFL to add to his stat sheet.
It looked to be a joint TFL along with Skylar Kingsley, the defensive end that got involved in there as well. And they're going to pack this up. They're going to give it to Williams one more time.
4th time in a row, why not? But that time going nowhere. Another half-yard loss on the play, and why not? Let's call Ronnie Watson's name one more time.
Yeah, let's see if he can get to 20 tackles for loss for the season just in this game alone if they continue this way. But at 3rd and 11, I think Dunhill's going to sling this rock, and I think the main option here is going to be the top of your screen right there in Stephen Hacker.
Let's see if they go his way. Split back to the backfield. Free play. Let's see where they go. They do go his way on the top of that formation, but they're going to take the free 5 yards.
Yeah, that's a quick and easy 5 yards because that Hacker catch maybe got 3 yards. A good route run from Hacker as well. You kind of see that looping T route sometimes from the receivers. We saw that last week. I want to say it was Queen City that had one of the receivers run that route and got a touchdown out of it. But this time, Kingsley just jumps off sides off the the right edge side, and now sets up a 1st and 5 here for Fort Worth.
Empty backfield for Fort Worth. Back to throw is... Whoa! Oh, that's going to be picked off. Jeffrey Daggs takes it away and avoids disaster on that possible 3rd down touchdown play as Jeffrey Daggs... And we welcome you back after that great play made by Jeffrey Daggs. And that's going to get taken right back by Fort Worth's defense. J.L. Browning, the linebacker, comes up with an interception.
Third or fourth time they went Daggs' way. This time just overthrown. A little bit too much there. And this time Browning gets the interception. That's Wilson's third. And right now it just feels like any momentum Mexico City gets in this quarter, it gets taken away immediately by Fort Worth.
And great field position to start out this drive for Fort Worth. Back to throw, Dunhill off to the right-hand side. Completed to the Cowboy, Robert Garrett Jr. down to the 16-yard line. Trying to take defenders with him, but dragged down by number 26. That's going to be Jermaine Minifield, but not before he gets the first down.
Yeah, and Robert Garrett Jr. is a big boy, and he's going to be tough to be taken down, especially against a secondary guy. Like you're talking about 6'7", 268 of pure raw cowboy muscle, and he's going to will his way to any first down that he can get, and he gets a rightful rest now on the sidelines as Dunhill and company go 3 wide here.
Flip backs in the backfield, 3 wide for Dunhill on first down inside the 20, inside the red zone, gets pressured, and that's just going to fall to the turf and complete, bring up second down. The pressure was applied by Bernard Patterson right up there in his face.
Yeah, and that defensive line definitely needs to, make Dunhill's time in the pocket shorten as much as possible so that he can kind of get into a little bit of a funk. Because Dunhill's, despite being 10 of 17, lower completion percentage than we're used to, he's still throwing dots out there.
Heavy I formation for Dunhill. Hand the ball off to Jason Williams. Nice spin move. Gets it inside the 15 to the 12. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 6 coming up on the next play, as that's going to be Skylar Kingsley in on the tackle.
Yeah, and then Fort Worth kind of going with the slower method here. They're inside the red zone. They're in their comfortable spot. If they don't get this 3rd down, they still have the ever-efficient Amelia Rose that can get some field goals, but they're definitely wanting to get this first down here with 4 wide trips to the top of your screen there.
Yeah, we saw Amelia Rose hit from 51 earlier, but you got to think they're thinking 6. And they go to the end zone. Ooh. Tipped up in the air, incomplete. That was dangerously close to being picked off on that play by Gerard Brody. But luckily it falls to the turf, and Amelia Rose will trot on to attempt the field goal.
Yeah, and Stephen Hacker has been relatively well covered throughout this game, whether it be Gerard Brody, whether it be, Jeffrey Daggs or Ben Charbs coming out as a secondary help member. They've done a really good job because he's only had 1 reception on 6 targets. He's been pretty much neutralized through this game.
So this will be about a 29-yard field goal attempt for Amelia Rose, right in between the hash marks. Snap spot, kick is up, and it is good from 29 yards out, extending the lead for Fort Worth up to 27-7 here in this one.
Yeah, just an easy and efficient kick for Amelia Rose. She's already done a lot of those this season already. She's now up to 26 of 27 this season. Not quite perfect numbers like Otis Boudreau the season before, but she's definitely making a case for herself for Special Teams Player of the Year for sure.
As Amelia Rose gets set to kick this one away to the awaiting Jeffrey Daggs. Gets this one away from about the goal line up to about the 23-yard line. And I hear we've got a game update back in studio. Kim, what do you got for us?
Thanks, Nate. I've got Evan Carroll having himself a night, Mike.
Yeah, Evan Carroll's having a great night. Already has a pick 6 under his belt. Now here he is with his 2nd interception of the game. And Florida's really giving Ashley Jackson a hard time. They're up 20-6 in the 3rd quarter.
These 2 defenses going back and forth. Arizona just got a pick. It's going to be ugly out there. Somebody's got to win. Back to you, Nate.
As this pass is defended nicely this time by E.K. Vincent. Bring up a 2nd down. Got his big paws up there and knock it down and incomplete.
Yeah, and this linebacker core has done a great job for the Fort Worth Toros to get themselves involved in the passing game, knowing that they love end. And again, Daggs the main target there for the 8th time in this game, and Vincent just throwing himself in front of the football gets himself another deflection. A big effort from these linebackers in this game.
So that'll bring up a 2nd and 10 from the 23-yard line as they come out in a heavy I formation. Hands the ball off. And nice open lane right up the middle for Phoenix Jones. That's going to be a gain of about 10 yards and a first down.
And that's what they need out of Phoenix Jones. None of these 2, 3, 4-yard runs. If they're going to get themselves back in this game down 20, they need to get one run, one first down. It's none of this ticky-tack stuff anymore. As the clock is starting to tick down on Mexico City here, they've got 6.5 left in this third quarter. Still plenty of time to get some scores, but you need your big impact players to make big impact plays.
Looks like Phoenix Jones is out there again, dotting that I formation. They hand it to him once again on first down. This time gets 6 yards on the play, setting up a 2nd and short on the next play.
It's not too bad. It was another threatening first down run from Jones. It took 2 tacklers to stop him to get to that point, and you'll see right there, just 51 yards on 10 attempts, and now 57 on 11 after that 6-yard run. He needs to get a little bit more involved here. Get himself close to 20 carries if they want to go that way and limit Matt Wilson throwing deep in the air.
Nice little jump move to try to get over the line, but this one's going to go for only a half-yard gain. E.K. Vincent on the tackle for a short gain on that play.
Yeah, and Ray Bentley's going to have a tough time throughout the rest of this game. His hands got to be, just throbbing in pain right now, and each carry of the football has to aggravate that pain a little bit more. So they're just, nickeling it every now and again to him, and that's not bad.
D throw over the middle. Nice.
Oh,
I thought he was going to come down with that one, but it falls to the turf, incomplete. Jacob McCall couldn't hold on to it, bringing up 4th down.
And sometimes just the smallest of tackle attempts can bobble a football loose. Adam Leach, seeing that he was behind Jacob McCall, knew that the only resort that he had was just to tackle McCall down, and that's all that was needed for McCall to bobble that ball a little bit and force a 4th down here. Fort Worth, fantastic work limiting the 3rd down conversions for Mexico City throughout this game.
George Amy on to get this punt away, standing at his 25-yard line, awaiting the snap. No pressure on it, gets it away cleanly. And the return made from about the 25 by Charlie Baker and brought out to about the 28-yard line. That's where the offense for Fort Worth will set up shop once they get on the field. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams. All the places you can watch live games, plus links to apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions. The All League records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. This pass is attempted over the middle, but batted away by Jermaine Minifield and incomplete.
Yeah, there's 3 players in that vicinity of that laser thrown by Dunhill, Charbs, Daggs, and Minifield. In the vicinity of that football. So if you're going to throw a deep pass like that, you might have to arc it over 3 defenders instead of throwing it a laser, because that could result in another interception. So they're going to set up here 2nd and 10. Hopefully they might run this to Jason Williams this time.
We saw Cade Stevens have that long touchdown reception in the first half. They were looking his way last time. Couldn't find him, though, as they hand the ball off this time to Jason Williams, and that goes for about 9 yards, setting up a 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, and that sets them up in good territory for 3rd downs, but we talked about how Fort Worth and their defensive limited Mexico City's 3rd down conversions. Get this, Fort Worth is only 2 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. So if they're going to convert any 3rd down, it would be this one right now.
They hand the ball off to Williams, tries to find an opening on that left-hand side, spin move on his feet still, breaking tackles. And he's going to get out to the 48-yard line, but plenty of space out there to get the first down to move the chains.
Yeah, and Jason Williams has done a great job throughout this game just getting what Fort Worth needs. And on that 3rd and 1 situation, it was threatening to possibly not get that first down, as Ronnie Watson was definitely in that vicinity, ready to tackle him, but he sheds it off, gets a spin move out of it, and gets a couple extra yards as well. Now getting close to midfield here as Fort Worth.
Offset I formation for the offense of Fort Worth. Dunhill to hand the ball off to Williams. Oh, what a hit. after he gets about a couple yards on that play, just absolutely got leveled out there by Ronnie Watson after picking up only, let's say, 4 yards on that play.
Yeah, and Watson has kind of been the motivator that as he possibly can for this Mexico City team to get back in this with the big hits, couple tackles for loss. He's been all over the defensive field right now.
Heavy eye set on 2nd and 6. Hands the ball off again to Williams. And tries to get skinny in between that offensive line and picks up about 3. And we've got another game update from the studio. Cam, take it away.
Thank you, Nate. Mike, Arizona finally stops the bleeding.
Yeah, Arizona trying to get back in it, Cam. DJ Moses goes right here, 4 yards for the touchdown, 20-13, Florida.
Back to big third down in Mexico with Nate and Brett.
Third down for Fort Worth, and Dave's going to go nowhere. Jason Williams brought down for a loss. Dan Tritz with a big stop.
Yeah, joint tackle there from Tritz and John Fowler coming in from the outside to get in that tackle as well. Big third down stop for Mexico City. They're going to get the football back unscathed here. They might have to start from a deep field position, but this is what Mexico City needs to get back in this.
As the punt is away without any pressure, and the return for Dags made from about the 10 up to about the 15, and that is where the offense for Mexico City will start their next drive. Next weekend, Next Level Sports is coverage of the Simulation Football League visits Minnesota Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, where the Legend, coming off their shocking win over Baltimore, will welcome the DC Dragons, two teams battling for division titles. Sunday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern, Florida tries to keep its slim lead in the East Division at rival Denver, plus live look-ins on the unbeaten London Knights and the high-flying San Diego Mavericks in desperation mode. For a general guide and more info about NXT, visit NLSE.com, as that pass was looking deep over the middle and incomplete.
Yeah, and we don't know if that was supposed to be targeted to Bartley or Cooper there, but that left in between them, so it was clearly a little bit overthrown from Wilson here. Wilson, he's starting to get a little bit inaccurate here in this third quarter, and that's not what they need out of this passing offense.
3 wide this time for Wilson on 2nd and 10 from the 15. Needing scores late in this third quarter if they're trying to make a comeback bid.
Good deflection.
Yeah, that defender got up in the air. That caused the incompletion, as that is going to be number 53 for Jeff Duffy for a pass deflection to bring up third down.
And he's already one of those this season, I remember, and it was just off his fingertips. This time, gets all hand on that pass. Basically, any chance of that target going through, none of it was happening. And Duffman gets another deflection.
Big third down for Mexico City's offense. Matt Wilson throw for sure. This time over the middle, but that's going to be short of the first down. It's going to be a yard short. He looked the way of Nick Lockett, but the Fort Worth defense was there to make sure he didn't cross that first down marker, and that's going to be a yard short, bring up fourth.
Yeah, just barely not getting across the first down marker as 3 Fort Worth Toro tacklers desperately come in to stop him. And again, Fort Worth not making Mexico City convert another third down. This has been fantastic work from them.
Fair catch called for and made by Charlie Baker at the 43-yard line. And that is where Fort Worth's offense will start their next drive. Well, Brett, for as electric as their offense had been in the first quarter and their scoring had been in the first quarter, getting out to an early 21-0 lead, you know, it's been a 7-6 ball game since that point, but you got to credit Fort Worth's defense since that point. They've stayed pretty strong up to this point. As Fort Worth's offense comes back out now, and Dunhill finds Cade Stevens in the middle of the field for a first down completion.
And the main difference here for Fort Worth is that they're dictating the pace here, as Fort Worth has dominated time possession in this quarter here as they inch towards a 4-minute advantage on this quarter alone, and they outpaced Mexico City in the second quarter by roughly 30 seconds. So they want to control this game their way, and that's why they're still up 20 at this point.
Cade Stevens now over 150 yards receiving on the day, including 2 touchdowns. As that handoff is made to Williams, for a gain of 3 yards on the play, setting up 2nd and 7.
And this is how they've dictated this offense here in the third quarter, as they continue just nickel and diming their way. And, they get their second down conversions in there, and they need to start converting more on their third down conversions. They're only 1 of 5 in this third quarter, but if they can get those second down conversions, you don't have to worry about third down.
Another handoff made to Williams inside the 35-yard line. We'll call it right at the 35-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 4. Just moving the ball 3 to 4 yards at a time. Like you said, Brett, just inching their way down the field.
Yeah, and here we are again at the 35-yard line. This is Amelia Rosary, and she made one from 51 already. So if they don't get any yards out of this, they're just going to go back her way.
Looking to the right on 3rd down. That's completed to Kate Stevens. First down at the 21. They don't need her yet as they get the first down that they're looking for.
The main benefactor of this passing offense, Kate Stevens, the reception number 6 now coming in, and well over 170 yards now. Just been a huge factor in why Fort Worth is up at this point with his 2 touchdowns in this game. And it just seems like he breaks open so easily against this potent Mexico City secondary. And just breaking through like a knife on butter.
First and 10 from the 21-yard line. Looking for more points in the third quarter here as they hand the ball off to Williams for 4 yards on the play, bringing up 2nd down, now inside the red zone.
Yeah, and just like I said, they're using Jason Williams just to get what they need. And this time they only needed a couple yards to progress this forward, and they maybe have one more play in them before they end the third quarter. Just like that, the third quarter is about to end.
And they hand the ball to the fullback this time, Aaron Alexander, and he'll go nowhere. Maybe a loss of a yard or 2 on the play. Ronnie Watson tackle for loss. Yes, sir. As that'll bring an end to the third quarter with the score Fort Worth 27-7, and we'll keep it here for the start of the fourth.
Throw up your 4s, your 12s, your 86s, 68s, any number that you want to. We are getting to the final stanza of this game, and Fort Worth has dominated this third quarter, and they're hoping they can seal the deal here in the red zone in this fourth quarter.
Absolutely. Looking for more points in this one any way that they can to try to salt this game away after dominating early in this one. 3rd and 6, though, for Dunhill and company. Looking deep, left side, picked off. Looking for Hacker in the back corner of the end zone, but that is going to be picked off, and that is going to be Gerard Brody, his 2nd, I believe, of this game.
And again, maintaining the coverage on Stephen Hacker has been spectacular. 7th target and just 1 reception out of all that. They've essentially eliminated him, and that's the 2nd time in the end zone that Mexico City has picked him off on a Stephen Hacker target. So great job for Mexico City limiting Hacker's efficiency, but now they need to capitalize on this drive here.
Excuse me, that was his first of the game. The other one he had was just a pass deflection. However, but that was going to be incomplete. Looking for number 81, Jacob McCall on the play. E.K. Vincent on the coverage.
See what this is here. It's going to be a neutral zone infraction, it looks like. So it's going to be a free 5 yards for Mexico City, 1st and 5. So they can maybe set things up and open up the playbook here. Maybe we'll see a bit of Phoenix Jones on this.
Jeff Duffy, the guilty party on that infraction of the offsides, couldn't stay disciplined along that line, so we'll see what they do on 1st and 5. They need points, and they need it in a hurry here, Brett. Here in the fourth quarter, down 4 scores if they want to try and make a comeback bid here, and it has to start now. 2 wide with a single back in the backfield. Wilson to throw on 1st and 5. Looking for Ray Bentley. You got to think that hand had to come play a factor in that one on that completion attempt. And we do have a game update ready in the studios. Cam, take it away.
Thank you, Nate. What an answer, Mike, from Florida.
Yeah, J.W. Doyle, he caps off a great drive by Florida and answers a touchdown by D.J. Moses. He takes a handoff from Cochran, punches it in. Florida goes back up by 2 scores.
Nate, I think that broken hand is definitely affecting Ray Bentley. Back to you guys.
Absolutely, as this handoff is made this time to Phoenix Jones, and he runs and rumbles his way to a 1st down and move the chains.
Yeah, and it's okay for Mexico City to get those runs from Phoenix Jones to get 1st downs. But now that you're kind of their pace has always been slow, but they need to pick things up here. 10.5 left to go. You're down 20. You essentially need 3 scores to take the lead. So it's time to start throwing the football, and I would look at Jacob McCall's way.
Yeah, I said 4 scores. I misspoke. It is only a 3-score deficit for Mexico City. They will get a free play, however, and that's going to be completed over the middle. Fort Worth starting to fall apart a little bit along that defensive line, and that is going to be...
Yeah, so what Mexico needs to do at this point is take advantage of these penalties as JL Browning, or not JL, yeah, it's JL Browning with the infraction this time on this penalty. Mexico City needs to take advantage with these free 5 yards so they can move closer. Maybe look for, just the first down passes. They're going to bunch up in a tight I formation here. So expect Phoenix Jones to run this for a first down possibly.
Yeah, first and 5 from Mexico City's 38. They will get the handoff on to Phoenix Jones, and a good 4 yards, setting up a second and short, and the playbook is wide open for the second and short play.
Exactly, but Fort Worth is probably salivating at the fact that it's 2nd and 1 after Phoenix Jones last time on a first and short situation got a quick and easy first down, as they're going to bunch up again here. So Fort Worth, I would bring all 9 to the box right now.
But they're only going to bring 6, looks like maybe 7, and they're going to get the easy first down, does Phoenix Jones, and that's going to move the sticks one more time as they get the ball up to the 44-yard line.
Yeah, and I think at this point, you got to stop with the Phoenix Jones runs and really start thinking about getting some wide receivers out there, getting your 4 wide formations as they, again, bunch up in this formation.
Yeah, at some point they're going to have to air it out, but they do hand the ball off to Phoenix Jones again. 3 more yards on the play this time. Is going to bring up a 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and if they're going to keep running, they better start, quickening up their huddles and making sure that they change formations as quickly as they can. They're doing a good job here as they start to form up, and they'll probably have 20 seconds on the game clock before they start going through their progressions.
Well, it's going to be a definite pass play here. In the gun is Matt Wilson with 4 wide. And he will throw, looking for an opening on that left-hand side, finds the receiver towards the sidelines, and Jacob McCall has a reception only 2 yards shy of the first down, bringing up 3rd and 2 from there.
Yeah, it's that conservative play that Mexico City usually relies on here, but they need to start looking deep, and McCall is going to be your guy going deep. Don't have him on these out routes here. I know it's gaining yardage for you as it sets up a 3rd and 2, but Fort Worth has done a fantastic job limiting your conversions here.
By formation, look for Phoenix Jones on the handoff. They will hand it to him. They do. Oh, they're going to say he's a half yard shy of the first down line to gain. We'll see if they go for it here. I think they have to at this point.
Throw the flag, throw the challenge flag. I think that was a first down, no doubt, but I'm not sure if you want to burn a timeout using that. And I think, yeah, they're going to have their goal line formation out here to get that inches and try to get that first down.
We'll see if they hand it off to Jones. 4th and inches from the 46. They will hand it off to Jones. Easy first down. Gets about 3.5, maybe 4 yards on the play. Moves to 6 and gets it to Fort Worth 42-yard line.
Yeah, and the runs are kind of working right now, but it's shedding a lot of clock. You have to remember that if you want to have a chance to win this game, you've got to get a quick score out of this. So they got to hurry up with these offensive plays here. And now they're going to go trips to the bottom here. So look for McCall down on the bottom of your screen.
And the defense is playing tight on those receivers, to look out for that as well as they look. That is Nick Lockett's way, the receiver over the middle of that formation. Nice completion, another first down to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, and this is what they need to do here with these quick passes. And if they're not going to go for the deep score, just get those first downs. And finding your receivers like Nick Lockett, who hasn't been involved much in this second half. It's only his 3rd reception in this game. That's a good thing to do. Get those Fort Worth secondary players guessing on who they're going to throw to. This is good stuff.
Another I formation. They will hand the ball off to Phoenix Jones on first down. Gets about 2 yards on the play. Bring up a 2nd and 8. This clock is just whittling away here, Brett. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. I think Fort Worth is just loving this kind of formation right now. It almost feels like Mexico City's relying too much on Phoenix Jones at this point. He's had about 7 or 8 carries on this drive alone, and they need to start throwing the rock more.
I'm with Mike Daggs on this one. 4 minutes in this drive already is taking too long as they look deep over the right-hand side. I like that. I like that a lot. Throw it to the tight end. Yes, please. Mike Daggs with the reception down to the 12-yard line.
Yeah, and Daggs has had a difficult time in this second half. He's been the target of 2 interceptions in the third quarter alone, and this time he finds himself just open enough. And Wilson does the right thing, arcs the football so that it goes over the defenders and into the basket hands of Mike Daggs.
Trip to the top of the screen this time as they look to keep the ball moving at the 12-yard line. 1st and 10. Throws it out to the flat. Ray Bentley gets their completion down to about the 9. 3 yards on the play. 2nd and 7.
Yeah, that's got to hurt his hands at this point.
Yeah, that's going to be stinging him. And we do have another game update ready in the studio. Cam, take it away. What do you got for us?
I got a tight end sighting in Arizona, Mike.
Yeah, Cam, I don't care what anyone says. Umpire 43 is the toughest guy in the whole league, but Will Todd knocks him over, takes it to the end zone. Arizona gets back within 7, 20 to 7 to 20.
Lots of 20s in there. We forgive you. Will Todd with the touchdown, and Mexico City desperately trying to get theirs. Back to Nate and Brett.
As Phoenix Jones rumbles his way down to the 4-yard line, setting up a 3rd and 2. Pivotal 3rd down to try to score here. Less than 5 minutes to go already. Hands the ball off to Phoenix Jones one more time. That's gonna. Oh,
there
nice
it is.
stiff arm.
Nice.
Nice stiff arm by Phoenix Jones, dribbling his way for 6 points.
Absolutely fantastic work from Phoenix Jones. I thought he was dead to rights behind the line with 3 defenders in the area. But one stiff arm is the difference maker there, and you'll see it just taking him down. Say goodnight, say hello to the ground, Noah Rieger. And now he finds himself with a touchdown on this, but Mexico City has to think to themselves, they used up 6 minutes of the clock to get 6 points. And now it makes their task tougher to get 14 points. So they need to get this onside kick converted to them after this extra point.
Hall of Famer Cole Varner on to attempt the extra point is up and good. That'll bring the score to 27-14. Fort Worth's lead trimmed to 13 points now. And yeah, you got to think they will go for the onside kick here with less than 5 minutes to go now. And we'll see who they target here on this onside kick for the Fort Worth side. Nice hang time on that kick. However, it is recovered by Fort Worth, and they will start out at the 39-yard line. A reminder that APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories alive, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. As play action for Dunhill, and that's picked up, given right back to Mexico City. Man, what an interception made by Gerard Brody with that interception.
And a big momentum shifter for Mexico City, even though they didn't get the onside kick. How about one defensive play and an interception right away? Mexico City will have the ball when we get back.
We will take a short break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the SFL live on Next Level Sports. We'll take a short break. We welcome you back at Estadio Matt Wilson as Mexico City takes over on offense. Completion out in the flats made by Ray Bentley, and that hand's got to be stinging ferociously at this point as a pickup of 6 yards is made along the sidelines.
Yeah, you think the doctors went in at halftime and basically just put numbing injections into his hand so he didn't have to worry about it until afterwards? Like, geez. That's got to be the third or fourth catch that he's made after the break of his hand, and he's continuing to truck forward. Like, what a beast!
Absolutely, some kind of fortitude this guy has to just keep on trucking as that completion is made by Mike Dag over the middle, and that's going to be a hurry up mode for this offense that they need to as they get across midfield. First down, Matt Wilson to throw over the middle, and that's going to be a complete.
Yeah, it looked to be in that area for Daggs or McCall, the two main receivers, the two main guys who have benefited on Matt Wilson's offense. But this time, again, it falls in the middle of those two, and it just bats down to the ground. And now they have to set things up. Hopefully, they get themselves in a multi-receiver spot. Yeah, here you go. Trips to the bottom, you got 4 receivers.
Matt Wilson to throw over the right-hand side. Excuse me. That's Mike Daggs once again. Gain of 8 this time. 3rd and 2 coming up. Hurry up on set going. Over the middle this time. Another first down. This time it's Jacob McCall with the reception. Down to the 26. First down. Still hurry up. Play action this time. Right-hand side. We'll take a breath as they run out of bounds. Completion made this time by Jason Bartley.
And we were just talking about during the break that Bartley has been essentially non-existent through this game, and now Wilson finally meets his target. He's been 3 of 3 on his targets to receptions. Bartley has, so maybe get him a little bit involved now instead of McCall and Daggs, who have a combined 20 targets to him, and then you might have the Fort Worth secondary guessing here. You've got Bartley on the bottom, and this might be a favorable matchup for him.
For 2nd and 3 from the 18-yard line for Mexico City. Now inside the red zone. Matt Wilson to throw. Looking end zone. Picked away. Incomplete. Doug Day on the cover. I'm sorry, Nacho Sicario on the coverage as they tipped that one away and incomplete.
Yeah, they're going Bartley's way like I wanted them to, but this time Nacho Sicario, who's got an interception already. Maybe I shouldn't have said a favorable matchup for Bartley. I should have said a favorable matchup for Nacho is He's been effective in this game, and he gets a nice pass deflection, and once again, another pass deflection. Fort Worth's 7th of this game.
Look to the 3 wide receivers to the top of the screen for Matt Wilson on this 3rd and 3 play. Looking to throw. They will get to the top of the screen. Ray Bentley has the first down for his offense at the 16-yard line. Clock still rolling under 3.5 minutes.
Hurry up, Ray.
I know you're hurt, buddy. Come on. 1st and 10 from the 16. Snap it, Matt. Let's go. They do go back to Ray again. Nice spin move. They get 4 yards. 2nd and 6 upcoming from the 12.
What's left in this clock? You're letting Mexico City back in this, and it's not a good sight right now. Maintain this lead. But for Mexico City, this is a good sign to get back in this.
Cole Varner with the extra point attempt is up and good, and we now have a 6-point lead. Still over 3 minutes left in this ball game, and Fort Worth, ever since they were up 21-0 in that first quarter, they've only scored 6 points, and over the last almost 3 quarters, they've let Mexico City crawl, make a 10-minute break, and be right back. as the onside kick was recovered by Fort Worth and got a play off for 3 yards. That previous touchdown by Mexico City was made in the end zone by Nick Lockett to bring the score within 6 for Mexico City. But Fort Worth here, Brett, trying to salt this one away. Now approaching 2.5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, we're going to see Jay Will on the runs here with the second down now.
Fort Worth now with the run up the middle for Jason Williams. Another 3 yards on the play, bring up a 3rd and 4.
And think about it from Mexico City's perspective. They have limited Fort Worth to 2 of 8 in this second half on third down conversions. This is the biggest third down for Fort Worth. They need to convert this or they're going to let Mexico City back in this game.
Well, we will see that third down play after this 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning, and we'll keep it right here for the 2-minute warning.
Famous words of the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm not leaving.
Not leaving for this one. Not with how this game has been played thus far. Hand the ball off to Jason Williams, the wide open area. Nice lane on that right-hand side. First down to the 32-yard line, and Mexico City will take their first timeout.
Not only is this a big first down, but it gets them in field goal range here because we've seen Amelia Rose, again, kick a 51-yarder already in this game, and she is 2 of 2 coming in. Both these field goals coming in the second half. The only points that Fort Worth has scored in this second half. So they've been really relying on just slowing the clock down so they can win this game. But Mexico City's threatening.
Handing the ball off again to Jason Williams. Another wide open lane.
Good
Spin move.
stretch.
2nd and inches coming up. Another timeout taken by Mexico City, but a great run by Williams gets them within range to get another first down.
And that's just smart running from Jason Williams, just looking at where his blockers are and just stretching further and further out. He cuts in a little bit, stretches out, cuts in a little bit, and then stretches out again. That's how you get that 9.5 yards. Big run.
I formation for Dunhill behind him. Hands the ball off to Williams. Another first down run inside the 20 down to the 18. Mexico City has to take their last time out. And you got to think at this point, Fort Worth may go victory formation. Might be a little bit too early, but they might go ahead and do it, even though they might still have time left on the clock.
There has to be, I think, at least one more running play in Mexico City. If you're on that defense, you're thinking to yourselves, immediately try to bobble the ball loose, but they are going to go victory formation to limit any chance of a fumble.
They will go victory formation. Dunhill takes the first knee. A reminder that coming up on the APM Music post-game update, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green wrap up this clash between the Toros and the Aztecs, plus first reactions to the Florida-Arizona final, and preview next week's Next Level Sports matchups, UC Minnesota and Florida-Denver. It's all coming up on the post-game update. So we saw the first knee taken by Dunhill. And looks like they'll take the second one with about 1:06 maybe left on the game clock. And it'll be a 3rd and 13 after that next knee is taken. And they only need to take one more knee. It looks like they will run the rest of this clock out. And Fort Worth will go to 7 and 3. Dropping Mexico City with the same record in this all-important lead for the South Division here, Brett.
Yeah, and this is not what Mexico City needs. They've been dominant, especially through the first half of this season, now dropping 2 straight and now seeing themselves out of the division lead. They definitely need to pick things up next week as, that South Division is going to get tougher and tougher, especially when we get to week 14 when they're going to have to play Lone Star, I believe.
And the last knee is taken by Fort Worth. And after just an electric start to this one in the first quarter, Fort Worth does what they need to do to hold on and snag a victory inside Estadio Matt Wilson. And they see the last 3 seconds tick off the clock. And that'll make the final score Fort Worth 27, Mexico City 21. And Brett, what do you got to say about this one?
Yeah, and it's just sheer domination in the first quarter from Fort Worth that helped them carry momentum in it. And the fourth quarter was really the only time where it felt like Mexico City was really going to try to come back in this game. But I think what really killed any momentum was the 6-minute drive that they had in that fourth quarter, because they relied too much on the run game. And if they would have had a little bit extra time, they maybe would have had a chance to tie this game. But 6 minutes is a lot of time to take off the clock, and it resulted in, trying to catch up as quickly as possible. And they had an opportunity, they just couldn't quite get to it, and Fort Worth just holds on. But both teams defensively, absolutely spectacular. You've got the interceptions from Fort Worth that kind of started things off with the Remington James pick six to make that 21-0. They kind of continue that momentum in the third quarter, but it was just a grinded out defensive battle for both teams. And at the end of the day, Fort Worth holds on, and now they have the division lead.
Yeah, they have the division lead, thus Fort Worth dropping Mexico City down to second place, and Houston back in third, still about half game behind, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, at 6-3, and Lone Star at 5-4. But all teams within a game or a game and a half of this all-important South Division. And as we take a look at a few more of these highlights, just can't say enough about what kind of day Williams had on the ground, as well as the poise and the big day that. How about Case Stevens and the kind of connection that he had all day with his quarterback Dunhill?
Yeah, it was 6 receptions on 7 targets, and it just felt like he was there all day, and he's got to be player of the game.
And we'll see here. It will be Case Stevens with the performance and the player of the game, 172 yards and 2 touchdowns for myself, Nate Hall, alongside Brett Solberg. And we thank you for watching this presentation of Simulation Football on Next Level Sports. We'll take a short break and send it back to SFL Studios to the postgame with Cam and Mike St. Green after this short break.
Video.
Welcome back to Sim Football Postgame along with Mike St. Green. I'm Cameron Irvine, your final Fort Worth 27, Mexico City 21, and the Aztecs really did a great job with second-half adjustments against Fort Worth's defense tonight, Mike, but the Fort Worth Toros had just enough in the tank to get this win and move to first place in the South.
Yeah, they barely creeped across the finish line, Cam. They got off to that hot start, 21 points in the first quarter, only scored 6 the rest of the way. But that Mexico City defense, they did make adjustments, and a big reason for that was a couple of end zone interceptions, one from Jeffrey Daggs, the other from Gerard Brody, to keep Mexico City in the game. But in order to come back, Cam, from a deficit so large, you have to be a quick strike offense, and that's what Mexico City is not. They like to control the ball, as I mentioned, at halftime, and they did that on a big drive from in the second half. I'm sorry, the third quarter, capped off by a Phoenix Jones touchdown run. But it took them pretty much 6 minutes and I think 16 plays, some incredible amount like that to get there.
A recipe for disaster. Back-to-back weeks, Mexico City digs themselves a hole. You hit the nail on the head, Mike. That's not the type of team they are. Meanwhile, Fort Worth goes to 7-3, goes into their bye on a 5-game winning streak, and this quite possibly is the best Fort Worth team in franchise history here in their 5th season in the SFL. And Mike, they needed this one tonight because they got a rough last 2 games coming off that bye.
Yeah, this looks like the Florida, Fort Worth.
We got 28 teams. You can name them all if you want, Mike.
And this is the Fort Worth team that I think everybody predicted a couple of seasons ago. They were odds-on favorites around the community, with a lot of people thinking that, hey, they were championship contenders, and a lot of people thought that they would end up in the championship game. Is this the Fort Worth team now that people thought there was going to be a couple of seasons ago that kind of fell flat, that we're seeing here in season 19?
That's true, and they really are peaking. I don't know if they're peaking too early, but they really are peaking at a good time of year as they go to 7-3. They have Houston and Arizona left on the schedule, and speaking of Arizona, they were 3 yards away from forcing overtime against Florida, but linebacker Aaron Gooden knocked down an attempted touchdown throw from Ashley Jackson, and the Florida Storm survive on the road in an upset, 30-23 over Arizona. Now the West gets crazy because Arizona's 6-3, Vegas is 5-4 after their crazy comeback win over San Diego. Vegas has Arizona's number. They've already beaten Vegas this season, and they'll play them again in Week 14. So now all of a sudden the West Division is back up for grabs, and Arizona extends their lead slightly in the East at 5-4. Now we don't have to hear the talk about, sub-500 team making a playoffs. Florida takes care of business. They were really unstoppable tonight, put together a great game plan.
Yeah, they had a great game plan, and part of that great game plan was the turnover factor that they had on the defensive side. Evan Carroll with a couple of big interceptions, the pick 6. Ashley Jackson has been doing a great job of taking care of the ball all season long, but the 3 interceptions tonight were really a big difference in this game. Bullet Beletsky, 129 yards and a touchdown as well. They just played great on both sides of the ball, things that we're accustomed to seeing from Florida. Solid defense, getting big plays out of Bullet Beletsky in the backfield, and they came out with a victory tonight out in the desert.
Florida plays Denver next week. You can catch that game same time, same place, right here next Sunday on Next Level Sports. And depending upon what Florida does in that game, they can start to put a bow on the East Division and write their tickets to the playoffs. Florida and Denver, not your only Next Level Sports game next weekend. Let's check out what we have coming for you in Week 12 of Season 19.
The SFL is a new kind of league where viewers are the stars, where strategy reigns supreme.
In football, you don't want to create the edge, you want to set it right up off the bat.
And legends are made.
And Mexico City's gonna win!
This is where fantasy meets reality.
Saturday, Los Angeles versus Queen City. Sunday, Fort Worth versus Mexico City.
Only on Next Level Sports.
That's the way our night's going. Those were this week's matchups. That's great. But DC and Minnesota are next Saturday. That's what we were trying to tease. And it's a big tease because the Minnesota Legend, an expansion team, are 5-4 in the playoff picture. They're taking on the 8-1 DC Dragons, whose only loss was to Baltimore, whose only loss was to Minnesota, right? So we've got a huge game coming on Saturday. It's really going to be exciting to see if Minnesota could quite possibly knock off two of the best teams in the league in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, Tulsa, they got their test tonight with DC, and now the expansion Legend, they're going to get their test against DC next week. Is this expansion team, are they ready? Have they grown up enough to this point to say, hey, we want to, throw our hats into this playoff race? And matter of fact, Cam, I think they can. And one reason why, because they play solid defense. I think it's going to be a tough, back and forth game. Both defenses are pretty solid. DC, they've been playing, a whole lot better and a lot more efficient on offense this year. Kevin say he's been fantastic over the past few weeks, but it's going to be a tough outing for DC. Minnesota, man, you're going to get your test against the Dragons next weekend.
When you think about where Minnesota's coaching staff is from, they're from San Diego, they're from Charleston. Well, DC doesn't really have a whole lot of history with those teams in the past. There's no so it's kind of like a clean slate kind of thing, and that could be ripe for an upset because the DC Dragons just have not seen Minnesota in the past. That's going to be a really interesting game. Minnesota also hasn't come across a team like DC yet either, as they're totally different from the Baltimore Vultures. So that's going to be a great one next weekend. Well, that wraps up Week 11, Mike. What a crazy Week 11, and 3 weeks left to go in the regular season. The playoffs start Saturday, October 15th, right here on Next Level Sports. You can check out all the SFL postseason exclusively here on NXT, and it's going to be a blast, Mike. Hopefully, we get some better games than we got last season, because last season was kind of a snooze fest in the postseason. Very unusual for the SFL.
Yeah, I remember us talking. We made it all the way through the playoffs last season, and we get to the championship game. It was like, man, what was the excitement in these playoffs this season? It just didn't materialize that way. But I tell you what, this last 3 weeks, if the playoffs don't do it, the last 3 weeks of this season are going to be
right.
Totally incredible. Like I said, the playoff race is going to change from week to week, game to game, probably minute to minute as to what the playoff picture looks like. And I'm truly looking forward to these final 3 weeks of this regular season.
Keep it right here on Next Level Sports for all of the SFL action as Season 19 winds down. Thanks to everyone, all of our SFL broadcast crews, statisticians everywhere, bonus coverage crew across the league. And for us here at SFL Studios, Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. Thank you for welcoming us into your living room tonight, and we'll see you next weekend. Have a great week, everybody.